Go live. Right, we're live. Can everyone hear us? Someone say that they can hear us in the chat and all that shit.
Very professional, this, isn't it?
Yeah. It's always very professional. Craig, not my internet this time. You had yourself on mute for 10 minutes of the call. If someone in the chat can say that they can hear us, that would be beautiful. And see us, preferably, as well.
Does seem like it's on live. I've got the video open, so I think we can go.
Nobody said anything in my chat. Ryan, evening, Ryan. Just home from a family function. Oh, didn't get hit by a flying puma ball on the way home from Wembley.
You did.
Someone did. There we go. John Shalley and Glasto said that they can hear us. Innes, evening, Innes as well. He's there. Andy, you impatient bastard. Good evening. Right, well, let's do a proper start to for the benefit of the listeners of the podcast. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the ChampMan FPL Gameweek 9 preview with myself, Rob, otherwise known as FPL Panda, and this evening I'm joined by Craig, or @ManOnPod Craig. How's it going? All good, mate?
Yeah, all good. Not a bad game week in the end. A little red arrow, but yeah, all good. I haven't done one of these for a bit on a Sunday, so looking forward to this.
Yeah,
a little bit different to the Thursday experience, isn't it?
It's a bit more laid back and not having to panic about what's going on the screen too much. This week there isn't much by way of news. We can have a quick chat
that's
about.
Why you asked me to come on. That's why everyone knows boycotted. Is it? There's nothing going on. So you get me. We'll get Craig on. There's nothing going on. We'll get Craig
on. David can see Craig fine. Panda's still got the mood lighting on. Yeah, I have my little lamp in the corner there. We don't ever put the main lights on because there's like 20 spotlights above me, but it would probably make me look like I'm on the Starship Enterprise if I was, because it would just be so bright, and you also see like how dirty everything is. Right, yeah. So what have we got tonight? Run through the double game week and very quickly see how everyone got on. We'll go through some injuries. There's some of them from internationals, quite a lot picked up in training as well. And then we might have a quick look at game week 13 because there are 2 or 3 fixtures that might be unsure of because of the Euro 2004 qualifiers. But yeah, there's no confirmation of that until the actual squads are announced, which could be as late as after game week 12. So
Lovely.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Free hit week.
I think it's potentially a free hit week, but only if you've got 2 of the free hits. I'd probably be working towards a worst case scenario kind of thing, and try not to fill my team up with players from these teams. So yeah, it's one to have a look at later. We won't spend too much time on it because, as I said, we can't be sure of anything until close to the time when the squads get announced. So let's just recap quickly on the last game week. Just flick through very quick. Arsenal,
We don't need
Middlesbrough.
to look at this game. We don't need to look at this game. We've all had enough of Thierry Henry. We don't need to look at this game.
Another week where he blanks and then back to the old getting subbed pre-60.
Just goes to show, right? No one's can avoid it. If your rating's that bad in a game and there's a player on the bench who can play in that position, you're off. Doesn't matter what your name value is or anything like that. You're gone. And obviously he fell he was playing worse than Bergkamp in this game. So he went off.
Yeah, just shocking, really. But a positive result for Arsenal in the end. Yeah, they've had a bad start to the season, but getting the win against a Middlesbrough side that obviously missed Mark Crossley. Brad Jones in goal wasn't all that.
He got a 7, to be fair. Could have been. Doesn't sound like he had the worst game in the world.
He got a 7, but he did concede 3 of Arsenal's 4 shots on target. So, like, yeah, must do better. Like, if you're conceding 75% of the shots taken past you, then yeah, you're not a very good goalkeeper.
You wouldn't want him to sign for Watford, would you, Brad Jones?
No. Right, Bolton, Liverpool. Yeah, both goals in the 10th minute. Like, literally, Pedersen scores, and then the ball just goes straight up the other end, and Heskey scores. Yeah, so a crazy 1 minute, and then the rest of the game was pretty dire. To be fair,
I blame the match stats there because they looked like they restarted after the goal with an indirect free kick rather than a kickoff. That must have been the reason for the goal. So
yeah, they just gave an indirect free kick for the goal. But yeah,
decent to see Bolton getting some decent. Their centre backs doing well again. It's been quite a quiet start for them, so maybe this is the start of them picking up again. That was obviously good for bonus points and stuff last year, but they haven't done loads this year. So some good ratings for their centre backs in this game.
Yeah, I think Skimmaker interests me as someone that he's got his 9 rating there. Yeah, he interests me at the moment. Like, well, if I could make a transfer, I'd keep an eye on him maybe. Hoopier back in the team, back in the bonus points as well. Yeah, will he be staying in the time?
Well, yeah. Do you want to click on Partridge? Someone asked. I think David asked if he could click on Partridge during this.
Richie Partridge.
First game back. There's his stats.
Yeah, he should, I reckon, start quite a few games now on that right hand side. Yeah, he's someone that I think this season could be like, for him, it could potentially be like Chadwick last season, like just breaking into the team and picking up the odd return here and there.
He's just got this typical problem, isn't he? He mainly plays right midfield, and so does Smeets, so does Murphy, and I think there's maybe another. So you've obviously always got that risk that there's likely to be a substitute in his position. And obviously, not only is he competing to start with that substitute, he's also likely to get an early sub because of it. So he's risky in that sense. But if he can get enough starts, he'll be value, I think, at 5.5.
Yeah, definitely. Bradford Newcastle, a shock win for Bradford at home. Although Newcastle, like, historically been terrible away from home on this sim. But yeah, it's just like, yeah, they get 22 free kicks. How many fouls do Newcastle want to give away? Yeah, not much else really to report from this game. Nobody really wants any Bradford assets really. A few people will have their eyes
They've got
on.
Norwich. They've got Watford this week, haven't they?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, but like, Newcastle have Norwich, don't they, this week? So a lot of people are looking at Newcastle assets, and I think Alan Shearer is the big captaincy option, isn't he, for the week ahead?
He seems to be the big stress this week. I think a lot of people like trying to weigh up whether to sell Viduka even to get him, which is obviously I'm not going to advise whether that's good or bad. It could work out, it might not. So I think you have to make your own decision with that one. But that's the sort of decision that Shearer's causing this week.
Yeah. Chelsea Coventry, standard 1-0 win for Chelsea. Should have been more. Yeah, Headman again picking up 6 saves in that game. Yeah, so Headman, 5-pointer for Headman in the end. Just a little bit disappointing. Although, Good Johnson, 3 shots, 3 on target. Probably disappointing to not get a result. I know Glasto's in the chat, and he gambled on Good Johnson this week, and I think he captained him. So, and I said to him, I think you've won the gamble. You just got really unlucky that you didn't get any returns. And
the only saving grace is the alternative captains didn't do amazing, right? I know Club only got an assist in the second game, but he didn't exactly go mental, did he?
Not many people captain Zenden. There's a few vice captains sitting out there, but yeah, no one really captained him. So yeah, I think Good Johnson was just unlucky in that first game not to come away with something. Coventry just didn't do much at all to threaten the goal. Only 2 shots in the whole game. Meh.
He was a bit unlucky if you had Terry, right? No shots on target, so pretty much a clean sheet locked in. I think we kind of expected that. So anyone that had Terry and obviously couldn't foresee in advance that he was going to miss the first game that's why you obviously just feel a bit bad. That's what you could have got, because I think that was a fairly predictable result.
Definitely. Everton Ipswich, Malcolm Christie. I think that's all that's all we have to say about this game. Just absolutely smashing it.
No comment.
A lot of people went from Christie to like Forsell and or to a Blackburn striker, didn't they? This week.
Did they take a -8 like me, Rob? Did they take a -8 like me to get him out?
I don't think so. I saw a few people taking hits, including him going out. So, but maybe not a -8. But yeah, it could have been more. It's just like a hat trick. I think.
Yeah. I'll be grateful, Rob.
You're grateful. You only scored a hat trick, because it could have been 4 or 5. I think didn't he have another big chance right at the end of the game?
It's just mental. He can have 7 shots, and Kevin Campbell playing right next to him doesn't have 1 in the whole game.
No, I think
that's ChampMan, though, isn't it? That sort of thing happens.
I think Captain had a bit of poetic license and added another big chance for Christie in there at the end. Because I remember seeing that on the stream. But yeah, good win, good result for Everton. Obviously disappointed that they conceded, to be honest. I've got McAteer in my zombie side, and he comes away with a 1-pointer in a 3-1 win, which is really disappointing.
I can only assume that Hariderson did okay against Campbell, but Doherty was playing right centre back in this game. Somehow has got an 8, even though he's the player that's directly up against Christie. He doesn't let him have 7 shots in the game, and somehow he's got the highest average rating out of the 3 centre backs. You think he'd have had the. So yeah, Hariderson's done really well, limiting Campbell to nothing.
Yeah,
and he only deserved 7, and Doherty's let Christie have 7 shots, score a hat trick, but somehow gets an 8. Something seems a bit up there with the ratings, but I can only assume it's to do with how well the centre backs marshalled their opposing strikers. How that sort of discrepancy happens.
Yeah. Leicester Blackburn. A good win for Leicester, and kind of set the tone for people that gambled on bringing in 3 Blackburn assets. A 3-0 loss, and nothing really to show of it from anyone.
They're a bit unlucky. If you'd have said before kickoff Blackburn are going to have 11 shots in this game, I think you'd have been quite optimistic. You'd get something out of the likes of Janssen. I know only 3 was on target in this instance, but 11 shots is a pretty good return for Blackburn in an away game.
Yeah,
so you feel a bit hard done by, I think, there.
Bent with 6 shots, but only 1 on target. So another day, Bent comes away with a haul. But yeah, it wasn't to be. Man United Villa, another standard Man United win. The shock for a lot of people was Pavel Nedved starting up front. I know a lot of people had Andy Cole like this week as their kind of filler for York, and to see him then,
right?
to see him bench.
They ripped it last week, didn't they? They played all the youngsters, and now this week they've decided that Nedved, who can't actually play striker, is more worthy of a place up front. The only one who got Andy Cole in directly after York got injured hasn't actually got any minutes off him yet, I don't think. Which is very unfortunate.
Yeah, and the same with who was it? Oh yeah, Rocker Jr. going right back. So just strange all over. But yeah, hasn't Martin got Ekiog and Rocker Jr.?
He did have it once upon a time. I think he's possibly wildcarded one out since. I think he's only
Oh,
got
right.
one. I think he's got Sylvester now. I think
He'd have come away with a haul from those two if he still had them. Yeah, Nedved. I doubt we're going to see much more of Nedved playing up front. Yeah, he'll be back to probably rotating with Giggs in left midfield. RVN comes away with 2 assists. Yeah, so those that a lot of people would have had him as their vice captain this week. So they've come away with a nice return from him. Villa didn't do much.
He's outscored all of the main double game week players, isn't he? I think pretty much anyone would have really contemplated captain. He's outscored them all, I think.
Yeah, because he got 8 and then 2 bonus. Yeah, 9. He got 10-pointer. He still gets a 10-pointer without scoring. And then, yeah, Villa not up to much, but they've had that nice little run of fixtures. Now it kind of dips, doesn't it, for them? Norwich Leeds. Harry Kewell in this game, taking all of Viduka's returns, basically. Yeah, Norwich didn't get up to much at all, but yeah, Kewell, 5 shots, 5 on target, 3 goals. Wow.
Be interesting now if he plays there again. Obviously, I think we've spoken enough about what Leeds might play in terms of Imar. And Kewell's played that role in this game because of they've got the up arrow in the formation from the AMC to the striker, and Imar can't play centre forward, so won't do that. But what happens now when Robbie Keane comes back will be the interesting one, because they could play Bowyer could get dropped and they could play Kewell and Imar in the central roles and then Keane behind the strikers, or it's possible that Keane may drop out and we may keep this. So it's one to keep an eye on moving forward what happens now, because Kewell will be a lot more useful. I think he's been, I don't know how many people have really considered him so far because he's quite expensive for someone who's playing in the CM position. But if it does look like he's first choice for AMC in games have got an up arrow, I think he's going to massively come onto the radar, isn't he? If that becomes more common.
Yeah, definitely. And interestingly, after we spoke, me and Martin spoke a little bit about Gary Kelly last week. Is he a possible way into that Leeds defence? Yeah, Gary Kelly gets dropped randomly, and Alan Mabry starts. Yeah, cheers AI. Yeah,
in an away game as well. Interesting.
Yeah,
you wouldn't expect it in an away game, but there you go.
Right, Sunderland Spurs. I mean, pretty standard result, really. Spurs shit away from home. Yeah, Sunderland getting a comfortable result in the end. Yeah, Spurs worrying at the moment. They've obviously now lost their most creative player in the side, and their best forward in the side. So yeah, what's next for Tottenham Hotspur? We shall see.
The formation is just a bit dead, right? Simon Davis is quite a good player. Perry and Richards are fine centre backs, but outside of that, their team is, I would say, fairly bang average. I don't think you look at most of these players and think they're better than what a lot of other teams have got in similar positions.
Yeah, they're a comfortably like bottom part of the mid-table group, aren't they? Really.
Their players definitely suit the 3-5-2 better. I think the players they've got, and obviously they had a manager that played that before and then sacked him, so we're left with this.
Yeah.
But I don't think they're a 4-4-2 team.
And then Watford City. Watford with another defensive injury, with Ferrer going off injured. City taking the game to them. Yeah, the City side, we've said it, seem to say it every week. They look good this season. And we did say in pre-season that we think they'll perform a lot better than what people will think they will. They're quite strong in the midfield and up front. not bad defensively.
No, they haven't particularly got a great team. And I've just been quite Andy's already calling me out for being harsh on Ziga, but I think a lot of these Man City players aren't up to much either. And somehow they still don't seem to do too bad. This is definitely a sort of not a great team, I don't think, but they've got one chop to talisman, right? Good player to have in the game if you can find. But Shearer's a bit like it. One chop's a bit like it. Phillips, I think, is quite like it as well. You get these talisman players there.
One chop unlucky really to come away with a haul in that game. 5 shots, 4 on target. Huckabee with 3 shots, 1 on target. Helgeson, although Helgeson there, 4 shots, 3 on target, could have done the job for Watford. But yeah, positive result for Watford really, considering they're like literally down to the bare bones now at the back.
I can't wait for Watford to be involved in a 6-5. I'm convinced we're going to get one in one game this sim.
Yeah,
going to win or lose 6-5 or something stupid. So the games sort of suggest it could happen.
Yeah, well,
so,
this game, this game, like they've had 9 shots and they've conceded 12 shots. Like this game could have, it's finished 1-1, but it could have easily been like 4-4 or 5-4. And then finally, Blackburn versus Chelsea. In their second game of the double. It wasn't very exciting. Like writing the comms for it, I pretty much included everything. When I wrote the comms, everything that happened was pretty much put out because it was a bit of a shit game.
What you don't want with one game in a double is Chelsea playing away, because Chelsea playing away and Liverpool playing away are the 2 teams that tend to tighten things up the most. So I did feel for you a bit when I saw this was the lone game double. It was never going to be a classic, I don't think. I think you're quite lucky to get 3 goals.
It was the exchange at the start of free kicks, like Petit hits his free kick into the wall. Solano hits his free kick into the wall. Solano gets another free kick. He gets it over the wall, but he gets it over the wall, but then the wall deflects the shot. And it's just like, it's going to be one of these. It's just constant, like free kick, free kick, free kick.
Bitty, is that the word? Rob?
Yeah,
I think bitty.
Yeah, something like that. But yeah, in the end, people at Captain Carboni, they got their return. In the end, Zenden coming away. I'm not sure if he was. No, he wasn't Player of the Week because Kuhl's scored more. Kuhl's. They both got 24 points, but Kuhl's scored more points over the course of the season so far.
People are a bit unlucky there. Good Johnson, 5 shots, 5 on target across both games. Carboni's not managed 1 shot in either game. So the fact we've got an assist off him and captain, we've actually probably got away with it a little bit. You'd like to have managed at least 1 shot across 2 weeks or 2 games, and 0 shots in both the fixtures. So maybe we've been a bit lucky to even get anything off him there.
Yeah, maybe if Good Johnson wasn't there, Carboni might have been. I don't know. Yeah, does that make them cross the ball less and they shoot themselves? I don't know. Although they didn't cross it very much.
Someone's just asked if we can click on Lucas Neal's stats while he was on Blackburn. We just went past that.
Lucas Neal. There we go.
Loads of 20s, but still won't play.
Yeah. His 20s aren't in the right places, are they? Right, so that was the double game week. We'll have a quick flick through the player stats. Henrik Larsson, top of average ratings.
That's crazy high, 8.86. Wow.
Selakovic still top of the shots on target. 100% of his shots have been on target. This is when we find out he's only taken like 10 shots. We won't be able to see that. You had to see that in the middle of the screen. Dribbles per game, Graham Marchant 3.7. Tackles per game, Chris Perry of Spurs 5.9 per game. Get him in your Sky teams. Michael Dewberry 88% pass completion. So a few that have gone past the 5-point mark. Michael Walsh's got his suspension coming up, I think, this week. But everyone else is still fairly safe for yellow card bans. And then the team of the week from the game: Hedman, Hariderson, Gunnarsson, Parnaby, Melberg, Hadji, Pettis. That can't be
Parnaby,
this
when did
week.
he play the team
Oh
of the
no, they
week?
haven't. Why haven't they given what the team of the week's from?
Yeah, Mika Hydson in there from his hat trick of assists against Arsenal. Is it? Well, I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe no. Giggs didn't play the week before, did he? Or did he?
he didn't
Oh,
play.
I don't know.
Yeah, he
I
didn't
think
play
it
in the
looks like
rep week. That's weird. How's Harry Kewell not in the team of the week? Or Malcolm Christie?
I don't even think Parnaby was playing, was he, for Middlesbrough? And he's got in team of the week. Yeah, don't take a notice to this, Rob. I think it's probably probably got a big takeaway from that.
Oh, that must be, yeah, that's that weekend. So they didn't do a team of the week for the 1st of October. Oh, wow. That's a bit harsh on
Garth
it.
Crooks is still thinking about it. That's why he
Yeah.
hasn't done it yet. Yeah. You see if he can shoot all eight strikers in, if he can manage it.
Cool. Let's have a look at the injury statuses then. There's a few. Robert Pires, so start of Arsenal, and Robert Pires went off on international duty and came back 7% with his gash leg.
Of course it was.
Got injured in France's 2-0 win over Russia. The Football Union of Russia now. So, yeah, he'll be out for, we reckon, back for game week 10, because it's only a few days. Upson's 25% strained ligaments still, and he's game week 11. And got Matt Clark, who's just been added to the game as a 4.5 defender. It's down to 82%, but everyone else all
Can we click on
okay.
him, Panda? Have we seen these stats yet?
Matt Clark. So made his Premier League debut last week. He played once last year in Europe.
Someone's also asked for Pennant in the chat. Can we look at him as well? Maybe he may be get another game this week if Perez is out. It'd be him or Lundberg, I would imagine, playing right midfield against Man United. So Lundberg should probably play, but not out of question that Pennant plays again.
I reckon it's probably, 70-30 in favour of Lundberg.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with that.
Yeah, he's just not quite good enough yet, is he, Pennant? That's Arsenal. Right, Villa.
Oh, I've got him. Oh, I was going to play him this week as well, Thompson.
Alan Thompson is injured. He's out for 10 days with a damaged foot.
Lovely.
So he'll be out till game week 11. But everyone else is all right though, Craig. Like, a few unhappy
I could have
players.
took out Thompson or Hadji last week. I took out Hadji instead and got in Till. And my result is now I've got Thompson injured who I kept, and I've got Till injured who I brought in. So yeah, standard. Anyway,
Olaf Melberg feels that he needs to leave to further his career. And Hadji just wants a new contract. So Melberg could be one to keep an eye out.
Be good news for everyone that's kept Richard Rufus through all this time if he leaves, right? At least it's one less player to compete for that position.
So yeah, it's not much to report really from Villa. Right, Blackburn. Again, not much to report. Lucas Neal, 89%. Davey and Richards aren't in the game yet. Betterton versus Lambropoulos is going to be interesting.
I knew Betterton was kept busy against Chelsea, but I didn't expect him to take 9% off his conditioning. Was he that busy that he managed to get that tired that he can only get back to 90% fitness?
I'm just wondering, is there enough? We might not really see much between the two that says why one would start over the other. You'd expect
No, handling and positioning are two of the main stats, and one's 3 better than the other in one, and the other one's better by 3 in the other. So even those two factors alone, they obviously break even. There are a few other goalkeeper stats that are more valuable, but those two, I think Lambrapoulis seems like he's a little bit better.
He's a lot more
It's not great
determined.
already.
He's a lot more determined than Betterton.
It's quite a big stat in this game, isn't it? Determination.
Determination.
I think if you're signing in players, you should really look at like over 10 for that stat. It's not good to have sort of undetermined players, shall we say? So a bit of sort of a stat you may not think is that important, but actually is in this game.
Oh right,
So
I didn't actually know that. Right, Bolton. Few injuries there, but none of them are players really in the game, apart from Gustav Alkvist, who's still out for 3 months till game week 23 at the moment, but everyone else seems okay. There's a few unhappy players, but again, not any first teamers really that are unhappy.
I'm not surprised they play the same 11 every week. If you only want that 11, you're probably quite right to be unhappy, aren't you? I think in this squad.
Bradford. Right.
Ooh.
So here's one that we obviously don't see international friendlies happening, but yeah, there are internationals this week for the African sides, the South American side. No, not the South American sides. African and Asian sides. So yeah, a few players off on international duty. And at Bradford, Adam Hardy is one, been called up to South Africa under 21s to play in Morocco. He's actually played them yesterday, but isn't back in time. So there are players that will play could play on internationally on Saturday, but I think their fixtures on Monday. I don't know who plays on the Monday, but I'll get round to it. Yeah, so they play on the Saturday. Micah Hyde is a new injury. He's out for 10 days till game week 11.
The best midfielder out ahead of facing Watford. That is really unfortunate.
Hmm.
Not sure their backup set piece taker is, to be honest. But I think as he's on corners, obviously could be an asset against Watford.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how extras next for set pieces. He maybe have a click on him. I'm not sure he'll be second in their list for set piece takers, but I already had half an eye on Brito. I ain't going to be him. He's only got 7. But so whoever's next on the set piece list, maybe decent asset this week. Oh, Jess might be on.
Could be Jess.
Or Michael. You think Jess will be on some things as to his appeal this week?
Steve Norman still out till game week 18, and David Romo still on loan somewhere till game week 23. And Michael Walsh begins his suspension. No, Michael Walsh will be suspended in game week 10 after picking up his 5th yellow card of the season.
Just to tell you, Rob, Andy's happy that you told him about Hardy. He's taken him off his thoughts for his wild card, by the way. So
good,
he's grateful.
Good. I'm glad to help, Andy. Glad to help always. Right, Chelsea came through the double game week unscathed, more or less. Kennedy's still out. He's 90%, but yeah, not really important. He's out till game week 10 still. But everyone else, all okay.
So good Johnson and Terry fully recovered. They're the main two, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, back to full strength Chelsea. Melchior wants a new challenge. Frank Lampard wants more money. Gronka feels he should be rewarded. Good Johnson, new contract. Terry, new contract. Yeah. Melchior's interesting though. Yeah, wants a new challenge. Or Desai wants a new challenge. Didn't we see the keeper as well, Kudicini? I think he wanted a new challenge as well. Yeah. So half the team wants a new challenge, the other half want new contracts.
It's not nice playing defensively every week and finishing 6th, is it? It's nice to have a change from that at some point. Get yourselves off to Celtic and win something. That's what I say.
Like Coventry.
Oh, is Headman injured? Oh no, he's not. That's a shame.
No. fan favorite Balderbet out for a month to Gameweek 14. Everyone loves it. Everyone loves Balderbet. Yeah, him and Barry Sparrow in our thoughts.
Sounds like one of those new bookmakers that turn up on the scene, don't it? Balderbet. See what odds they offer on these games.
Mark Noon. Yusuf Safri is out. Yeah, he's off to play against South Africa for Morocco. So yeah, he plays today. Oh, he could actually. I think I've got him as possibly available. I haven't actually flagged him because I think
that I don't think it's going to impact anyone, Rob. I don't think
he might be. But yeah, I think even though he's flagged as international, I think they don't play the following day after the international because they're travelling. But then the following day after that, then they're available. So he's available for Monday, I think. Genus is a new injury, out till game week 14 with a groin strain. Eustace 90% out till game week 10. And Keith O'Neill is down to 68%. Pray for Keith.
Just a few things from the chat. Emmys Brecken's put Carboni 93%. Yeah, I won't worry about that, mate.
Yeah, he'll
play. 100%. He'll still play on that condition. And what's the context of a new challenge, Nathan? I think it's just one of their ways of wording that someone's interested or maybe open to leaving if there's an offer coming in. It's just that there's 3 or 4 different ways they tend to express that on the game, and that's one of them. It doesn't necessarily mean they're going to go soon. I don't think it has any impact on them getting dropped, for example. There's a few. If someone asks to be transfer listed, I think sometimes they don't play. I think that's right.
Yeah, they can. They could want a new challenge like the whole season, or we could have the situation that we've just had with Selakovic, where within 2 weeks he's gone from wanting to move to a bigger club to asking to be transfer listed to being sold like it so quick that we didn't expect it to happen that quickly. Did
it happen a lot in Sims that you ran, or was it sort of?
No.
Is that quite a new one, an unexpected one? Yeah.
No, because someone else from Spurs went before he did, so it kind of kept him a bit happier. But more on that maybe later. Right, Kevin McLeod from Everton is injured till game week 14 with a groin strain, playing for the reserves. And Max Moore, I don't think is in the game anyway. Everyone else okay. Big Duncan he wants first team football. Everyone all okay at Everton. Who's going to be face for William Hill in 20 years? Genus or Balderbet? I'll put £10 on bet. Right, Ipswich.
This is what he looks like, Andy. He might have a face for press marketing. Let's see what he looks like.
Nabil Abdallah still out till game week 11 with his groin strain. All these players are their groin strains. Kevin Reid is low condition, 89%, although Ipswich play on the Sunday, so he's still got a day, so he should be all okay ahead of their fixture with Sunderland, yep. Jamie Redknapp is still a doubt at 90% with his flag. So could play, might not play. I think I've got him as he'd be like flagged on the site, return game week 9, 90%. So like it's a 50-50, I think, with Jamie Redknapp.
If there's a player you wouldn't risk not fully fit, it's him, right? But I'm sure he's stupid enough to do it.
But other than that, all okay, I think, at Ipswich. Right, Leeds.
Someone's asking about Tarraco. Was he? If I called up by Argentina. Did they play during the international break?
Yeah, they did play. I did. I don't think. I did all the European results, but I didn't do everyone else. But yeah, they a repeat of the Copa America final against Colombia. Angel scored for Colombia, and Julio Arca scored for Argentina. So 2 Premier League goal scorers.
They play wing backs, don't they, Argentina normally? So he'll be a wing back for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, the old sweeper. It does work. The old sweeper.
It does work. Yeah, Colombia only had 7 shots on goal to Argentina's 2. Yeah, Colombia play a 4-1-2-1-2. So yeah, no revenge for Argentina. Yeah, after I think it was 1-0 in the Copa America final.
Yeah, I think so. More important, no jet lag for Tarico.
No
I don't think you get
lag.
that in this game. Do you jet lag?
No, they fly.
Not seen that.
Yeah, they teleport, so they don't get jet lag. Right, the big news from Leeds. Gash leg for Henrik Larsson in Sweden's 0-0 draw with Lithuania. So yeah, he got injured towards the end of the game, and is out, but only out for a few days. So out till game week 10. He's 10%, so yeah, no chance of seeing him this week.
The bad news for me is everyone's just got such an easy move to Shearer now.
Yeah,
it's just so easy, isn't it? Straightforward to do that move.
I think. If they've got Larsson, then it's easy to go Larsson to Shearer, I think, this week. Unless Shearer's injured. That'd be a that'd be a plot twist, wouldn't it? So yeah, everything else all okay at Leeds. Like Smith's fit now, so he could come in up top. Could be Robbie Keane up top. Yeah, I think there's a lot of players that could actually end up playing up top. Kuhl could even end up there. Like that'd be interesting if Kuhl played up top and then Aymar moved into the AMC and they did that. I think it's more likely to be Alan Smith.
Or Robbie Keane. Where's Robbie Keane? They might play Robbie Keane up front, I think. Well, I don't know. This is interesting. Now, we haven't really... I think Keane was ahead of Smith in season 1 before Larsson signed. Is that right? I think. So I'd imagine Keane probably goes up front, would be my guess. But... So the stats comparison is more to do with the rep, isn't it, of the player? I think Keane's will be higher. He's pretty much started every game for 3 seasons. So... Yeah, I'd imagine it'll be Keane up front, would be my guess. Interesting transfer for this week, though. If you've got a midfield slot, isn't it, to get of all the midfielders that might play up front? Obviously, Jansen's one thing and Pedersen, but to get one from Leeds is a much bigger weapon than those two.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Right, on to Leicester City. And a few injuries here that are new. James Scowcroft is out for 3 weeks with strained ankle ligament, so he'll be back game week 12. Joey McAnuff has re-injured himself because he was just like orange injury last week. Yep. So he's re-injured himself for a 5 strain. He's out for another 2 weeks till game week 11. Joey Taggart still got a game left on his ban, returns game week 10. And Terry Dunfield is on international duty with Canada, who are playing Mexico in a friendly. So
potentially a decent game this for Leicester at home to Bolton as well. So probably the 2 attacking assets most people normally gravitate to are obviously now both out. It's obviously still around, but they're a very quiet season. He's only played like 2 or 3 games, I think, hasn't he? But
yeah, he hasn't had a great.
He's played more than I thought. 6.
He's played more or less every week, but he's
I
only
noticed
scored.
him. I thought he was injured for
It's
about the
because
first 5 weeks.
it's because he's only got one goal and he has got no assists, so he just hasn't appeared anywhere.
I hadn't even noticed he was playing.
Yeah. Yeah, those two be a bit of a miss for Leicester.
May mean we get 2 strikers. I know it's always a battle, isn't it, between Benjamin and Sturridge, which one's going to play. But the fact Scowcroft's out might increase the likelihood of getting both. I don't think they've got anyone else that plays AMC from memory, so it should be 2 up front, and it's probably going to be them 2. So that decision is probably taken away from the game this week, which is maybe promising. I don't know if they played together yet. They probably have. And again, I don't pay much attention to Leicester normally, if I'm being honest. But
no, I don't think they have played together. Right, let's move on. Liverpool. No new injuries at Liverpool. Yari Littmanen, 75%, low condition. Everyone else okay. Warnock and Keane aren't in the game.
So full defenders to pick from. Biscan's 100% now. So hopefully, I'd imagine your sim suggested Hippier Biscan were normally first choice. I think they played like 1 game together so far.
Yeah,
Hopefully this will be a start of them forming a fairly solid partnership now, and we can start considering Liverpool defenders again.
Yeah, they've been tricky with Biscan's injury. Like it's just been chopping and changing. So
the game's still got a reason that they like playing him in midfield, though, sometimes for some strange reason. He's obviously not a bad midfielder, but he's much more useful for them in defence, given the current state of the squad. But they may still decide to try and use him in midfield, but
definitely. We'll see. Right, on to Manchester City.
You having a laugh here, Rob? One chop as well.
So, new injuries for Man City. Paulo Wanchop is out for 10 days with a stubbed toe, so due back game week 11.
I'm going to be taking a -16 here, I think.
And Hurtado, he had an injury last week. 10 days of damaged shoulder, so we think game week 11 for him.
Matthias, we looked at Partridge near the start of the stream, mate. If you want to rewind or watch back at the end, you'll see his stats fairly early on. We looked at him.
Danny Tiato has been called up for Australia. Why have I not got him flagged? Do they play?
He was injured. Is he back?
Oh no, they play on the Monday. That's why I haven't got him flagged on my sheet, because he'll be able to play unless he gets injured. Unless he gets injured between now and then. Someone asking?
Can we look at Liddell, the defender? He's obviously played it.
Yes, added to the game, Gareth Liddell, 22-year-old Englishman, signed from Crewe a couple of seasons ago.
God knows what tempted Man City to buy him. 6.29 average rating playing for Crewe, and Man City for will buy him.
They must
with
have
9 jumping.
Must have seen something from him.
He's a centre back to the target with 9 jumping and 12 positioning. That's quite weak, to be fair. If you can find if he carries on playing, he's obviously only playing when Hurtado is injured, but might be one to target with those, especially with those 2 position jumping being so bad.
Michael Oakes still out for a few days with his groin strain, so is it Sorensen? I always forget. We've had a couple of keepers move already, haven't we? Sorensen at City, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's no threat really to him at the moment.
I can't believe Wanchop's got injured the week he's playing Headman. Headman's going to get another clean sheet now, isn't he? Playing against Burton and Huckabee, is it? Dear.
Right, on to Man United. And the big injury there, Mikel Silvestre is out for 3 weeks with a pulled hamstring.
This is pretty big, given the fixtures they've got coming up. Not so much this week because it's Arsenal, isn't it, away? But
yeah,
from next week, their fixtures turn really good.
yeah. So he's out till game week 12.
So you're going to get 2 weeks, 2 good fixtures where they're going to have to play another left back. Interesting. Might be a cheap way in.
Yeah. Would it be Phil Neville goes to left back and then Wes Brown plays right back?
I don't tend to. They got another left back. It wouldn't surprise me if they dumped.
It'd be Berry or Tierney's got a flag on him, so it's not going to be Berry or Marshall. It'll be Phil Neville left and Wes Brown right, surely.
I'm not sure he's. I don't remember him playing left back in Sim in any of the season. I think when they've repped, they've played someone else. You'd assume it would be him, but I wouldn't bank on it.
They played Phil Neville when they repped against Ipswich.
Oh, okay, maybe it will be him then.
And then Brown played centre half, but you'd expect him to then start right back.
So you get a week to look anyway. You won't want to be bringing a Man United defender in for Arsenal away anyway. So we got a week to work it out.
But yeah, potentially, like if he's out till game week 12, so you got a couple of weeks with a cheap Man United asset defensively if you fancied it.
Phil Neville's 5 million, isn't he? Was he 5.5? I think he's 5 million.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Paul Scholes still 90%. He's been like 90% for about a month now. So he's still out till game week 10, and then Gary Neville is out for 10 days, so game week 11 for him. So yeah.
Someone's asked him to look at a few players. They asked him for the Man City strikers, please, Panda. I know we'll just jump past that, but Dickoff and Dion Burton, if we can have a look at
Dickoff. Well, Burton's on international duty with Jamaica this week anyway.
So it might be Dickoff up front then, is it? Is he next?
So there's Burton. And then there's Dickoff.
I don't know if any of these young regens that they've dropped in now and again play centre forward.
Hallworth
played a game.
He played a few last season. Yeah, he started 7 last season.
Yeah, maybe him over Dickoff. Then you think he's probably ahead. So unless one of these other players that they've got doesn't look like I didn't know if like Bruff or someone played up front, but they don't.
No, yeah, I think it'll be Howarth over Dickoff because that's generally been. Oh no,
we looked at it already. Goodman, you might have missed it.
It'll be Howarth or I think actually if Burton's back, it'll be Burton because I think that he'll be back because they play on Monday. City do. Whilst Jamaica play today. So as long as Burton doesn't get injured playing for Jamaica on the Saturday, then he should play for City on the Monday.
I'd say just get Huckabee if you really want a Man City player for this game week. It's probably the safest thing to do.
Right, we've done United. Let's move on to Middlesbrough with their new signing.
What's Honcho done now? They just come back. He's injured again as well.
So yeah, Honcho out till game week 10 with strained knee ligaments. He's 35%. Mark Crossley.
Yeah, bad luck that I've seen over 3 seasons. Injury proneness that I don't think is incredibly high. It's not the lowest, but it's not
just
like
been unlucky.
High.
Yeah, it's just unlucky because constantly gets injured. Crossley still got one more match on his ban. So Brad Jones still there in goal. And then their new signing, Stefan Selakovic from Spurs for 6.25 million. Basically becomes a non-fantasy asset unless half of Middlesbrough's forward line gets injured. I can't imagine Selakovic looking at like this lineup here with Boxic and Rickard up top. Like you can't imagine Selakovic jumping into one of their spots. So it's Marinelli or Miller, and I think it's going to be Marinelli that will probably miss out.
In the Man On pod that came out this morning, we recorded on Friday. Martin ran some sims with Selakovic, and it had him playing as a dipped forward in some, and they dropped Ricard. So they played 4-4-1-1 with Selakovic behind Boxic and the midfield two as it was, and equally in some they dropped Marinelli. Like played this with Marinelli dropped for Selakovic. So basically, I think both are possibilities at the moment. So I think right now you don't buy or sell Middlesbrough players. I don't think until we learn a bit more.
Yeah, I don't think I'm not sure what happens if you have got 3 Middlesbrough players and then Selakovic comes in. I think, unlike with FPL where you can just keep that player, and you can have the 4. I think in this, you have to your team is locked from making any other transfers until you get rid of him.
Can you imagine if you got one chop Sylvester and Perez this week and the game goes, sorry, you've got to sell one of your Middlesbrough players as well?
I've got a feeling that's what happens. Yeah, well, I'm sure there's someone out there that will be able to confirm as to if that happened or not. Yeah, if they had Selakovic, Southgate, there's someone out there who will have Selakovic, Southgate, Brad Jones, and Crossley. There could potentially be someone out there with that. Well, did someone want to see Adam
Johnston?
Johnston.
He's the nailed one, I think, because the signing doesn't really impact him at all. So I think he's still safe on the left wing. So if you want a safe route in, it's probably him.
Postman always returns anyway, so.
No goals in 7 yet.
Yeah,
quite a season. Really.
He played 12 and no goals, 2 assists. He's played 12 games, 7 league games, 5 in Europe, and just 2 assists. Compared to season 1. 38 played all 38 games and got 9 goals and 7 assists, crazy, and a lot of fantasy assists as well. Crazy in that first season.
Yeah, there's the variance for you.
Yeah. Right, on to Newcastle, and their big injury is Alan Shearer. Is not injured. he's all right. He's 100%.
Of course he's not.
But Gary Holt, who has been starting in centre mid, is injured. He's out for 2 months with a torn groin muscle. So he's out till game week 18. Few people would have him.
The Smiths 1986 in the chat's front 3 at the moment is Selakovic, One Chop, and Larson. He said. So he's got 2 injured, and the other one is probably not going to might play centre midfield.
It's One Chop and Larson are probably the 2 you need to think about moving. So Gary Holt out till game week 18. Steve Harper's the reserve keeper on 89%. Gavilan is 89%. They've actually just sold. Who have they sold? Clarence Acuna has been sold to Wrexham for 350k. Wow. So he's been removed. So he's another player that some people might have as bench fodder, and he's gone.
Not used to flare players like that at the racecourse ground, are they?
Danny Griffin still got 1 more match. No, he's got a 1 match ban. Who's that?
He got 20 for aggression. This guy Griffin.
Only 13.
He got 13 for aggression. Wow.
Yeah. He got booked in all of the first 4 games of the season, I think. No, he got sent off in the first game for 2 yellows. So that was 2 yellows into his tally. He came back, got a yellow, then got another yellow, then got another yellow. Now it's another ban. I don't think he's had a game this season where he hasn't received a yellow or red card.
Well, his stats, sort of aggressive stats aren't especially high. He's fairly determined. He's Yeah, he's okay, but he's not the sort of person you would think would go mad.
So yeah, he's still out till game week 10, but everyone else I think is all okay. Norwich, and I still got fairly lengthy injury list. Plus Mike Taylor with his suspension. Nothing new, I don't think. Oh no, there is some new stuff at Norwich. Patrick Adams, 89%. Sean Dyche starts his 3-match ban this week as well. Then you got Neil Emblin, who's still out till game week 14 with his torn groin muscle. Malky Mackay is still out till game week 10. He's 90%. Neil McCann still, I've got him as 90%, but he's one.
They might try and play him up front as well. They might, because I'd imagine Marchant, who's been playing up front with Abbey the last couple of games, will probably end up playing right wing back because because of Dyche's ban. So I'd imagine Marchant moves from striker to right wing back. So he may get space for another. There might be another striker available here to play with Abbey. McCann is probably one of the people in that discussion.
Yeah, so he's got 1 day left, and Norwich played Newcastle on the Sunday. So you'd think that he'd be maybe in the running for on that list.
Someone's asked if they're still interested in Mark Kerr, Norwich. We won't know that from this, will we?
No, we'd have to go into him, but I know I do know another player that another team is interested in Mark Kerr. Oh no, there isn't anyone interested in him. I thought I saw another team in there the other day. It might have been last week or a couple of weeks ago. Yeah, Brighton are in there because we keep an eye on him. But yeah, Kilmarnock. I doubt that he'll be ending up at Norwich. If he comes to the Premier League, it'll be to someone else, I think. Right.
To Chelsea. He goes to Chelsea quite a lot.
Who did we have see? We did see him in the Premier League in some sims. I won't say where though. That will ruin the surprise, because if it does happen, then
yeah, we'll keep some stuff secret.
So Pierre Issa is out on international duty. He plays for South Africa against Morocco.
I've got him as well, Rob.
I've
got Gary Till, he's injured. So I've got 3 injuries and a player on international duty, yeah?
Kevin Phillips down to 87%, but Sunderland play on the Sunday, so you probably think he'll be over 90 by the time they play. So I don't think Kevin Phillips is a worry this week. Gary Teal is a new injury.
Give me the bad news.
Out for 3 weeks. Okay. Game week 12. That's it. They did have 2 players added to the game this week. Sunderland did. Joe Shaw was added to the game as a 4.5 midfielder. So that shows what we saw from him.
So you might start right mid then. Well, someone's got to play right mid, obviously, with no Teal, haven't they? I don't know who else they've got for that role now.
Oddly.
They still got Bart Williams. Is he still around? He might play there.
Ardley, Oster.
It would make sense to move Ardley out, wouldn't it? And they can bring Medina in next to McCann. Would make the most sense. But the game ain't always that predictable.
And then the other player added to the game was Jorge Letal. He's been added to the game as a 5.5 forward. So take from that what you will.
Well, Phillips is back, right? You assume he's not going to play, but you never know.
Right, on to Tottenham Hotspur. And
right, Phillips is injured as well.
Sean Wright Phillips is injured there, so I know a few people had been looking at him as a potential Selakovic replacement at Spurs, but probably not this week. He's injured till game week 10 with a bruised thigh.
He's not going to get the 4.5 double up front, then, is it? I think.
Yeah. Rebrov, 2 months. We actually think it's game week 18 now for Rebrov, and the same with Everson. That obviously fluctuates depending on every week. That could change at the moment. So, yeah, keeping an eye on that. But nothing else new from Spurs.
Rushbury or Armstrong, is it? I think then. Chris Armstrong. I don't even know if he's priced up. Is he, Chris Armstrong?
I don't think he is.
So he's not going to be an option for us then if he plays. But not until next week.
No, he's not in the game. Rushbury is though. We didn't have any season sims where Wright Phillips, Rebrov, and Everson all got injured at the same time. So
and Salakovic got sold as well.
And Salakovic got sold. So yeah, we don't know what happened in this situation.
I bet good money, Rob, if you ran at 200 sims, you wouldn't get in this situation again. So I wouldn't hold it against yourself.
Yeah, it's they're at dire straits at White Hart Lane, I think, at the moment, attacking wise. Like they've been awful defensively throughout this sim, but now I'm not even sure like Wood is an option now because there's just no creativity behind him that's going to make real chances. So yeah, I'm worried about Spurs at the moment unless they make a signing soon. Maybe Mark Kirk could be a good option for them, couldn't he? If he ended up there.
Look at this. Oh, but that's just injured as well. I haven't quite got lucky. I haven't got him yet, but he was very close to coming in.
So at Watford, yeah, Paolo Vanazza is out for 10 days, only 10 days. It's like he's one of the shorter injuries. So he's out till game week 11. Then Albert Ferrer, injured against City, 2 weeks. So he's out till game week 11 with a groin strain. Marcus Gale is off on international duty as well. So he'll be back next week. So many injuries at this club.
You're going to get a few 4.5 mids playing here with Petkoff, though. I'd imagine it's going to be Petkoff, Pitcher, and Wannell or something.
So Richard Johnson's still out till game week 23, we imagine. Joe Tessum, now looking at about game week 18 for him. Ramon Vega, now looking at game week 14 for him as well. And then Gary Walsh is still suspended for 1 game week as well. It's just horrific luck really for Watford. We did add a new player for them this week. Lloyd Doyley picked up.
I feel great for Leo Panda because I've got at Matzidis. At least he's not injured, but he ain't going to get great protection in front of him, so he may as well be injured. You've got to see the 25 goals for this Mickey Mouse outfit in front of him, isn't he?
So Lloyd Doyley was added to the game as a 4 million defender. So you can have a 4 million defender that might start. It's horrific for Watford.
Goodman reckons that Watford need a new physio. Yeah, I don't know. The manager's obviously got some really intense training regime, isn't he, or something?
I don't know. This manager picked up half. This manager came in and with half of these players injured already. Yeah, so a bit all over the place at Watford. But yeah, that's about it for everyone. We'll have a quick look at some big transfers around Europe. Patrick Vieira left Barcelona this week for 30 million. I think that is the record signing throughout all the Sims. Is Patrick Vieira 30 million.
What a glory under he is going to Roma. That's give yourself a challenge, Patrick.
We won't see their lineup. We can just see their squad.
He's in there with Emerson, is he? Him, Emerson, and top. They got
Emerson, Vieira, Jesus, look
They're
at
not
it.
bad midfield. Umit Davala's done well. He's seen and living in that midfield with Vieira, Emerson, and Totti and Overmars. By a new right mid, I think.
But yeah, other than that, not much else. Radoslav Kaluzhny going to Leverkusen.
Charlton have sold Dean Kiley. I don't know what I've done that for. He almost kept it. We did keep him in the Prem, didn't he, in season 1? And they finally ditched him.
Let's have a look at the job information. And Alex McLeish is slightly insecure at Spurs. And I think I mentioned it a few weeks ago that we do see Alex McLeish possibly going as the first managerial casualty for the season. Highly likely, I think that he might become the second, especially with the way that Spurs team look at the moment. You can't see.
He hasn't really got the players to turn it around, does he?
Yeah, so yeah, wonder if another manager that they, like you said, they might do well with a 3-5-2. Yeah, whether another manager comes in that plays the 3-5-2.
Might be able to get Thierry Francis back there. Look, he might leave Birmingham and go straight to Tottenham. Get him back. Manager.
There's no internationals. Right, let's quickly recap over the qualifiers then. Let's just don't really need to look through that. Just that the playoff draw.
Belarus beat Wales 3-2. Wales could cope with Sigalko, I don't think. Yeah.
So the playoff draw now. So these games, the first legs are played Saturday the 8th of November, which is coinciding with Gameweek 13. So let's have a quick. So we've got Bosnia, Ukraine, Denmark. I don't think Bosnia and Ukraine. I don't think those two matter too much. But Denmark, Poland, Norway, and Turkey all have quite a large amount of players throughout the Premier League. Let's have a flick through to Game Week 13. So that's Game Week 9, 9, 9, 10, 10, 10, 11, 11, 11. Game Week 12, Game Week 12, Game Week 12. So Game Week 13 says no TV scheduling done yet. So I think it was who spotted it? Heskimo came out and he put a tweet out. Let me find the tweet.
I think Bolton are one team who might be impacted from memory. I think they've got a few Scandinavian players. I don't know if they're Norwegian or not from the top of my head, but
yeah, they've got Snorrison. We can, if I go into Bolton and you can sort by nationality. There we go. Yeah, so Bolton have Hansen, Franson, and Pedersen. So if they all get called up, then yeah, their game will be off. And I think they all were in the last Danish squad.
We get a Man United double booked in for down the line then, if that goes.
So yeah, Bolton versus Man United is, I think, a doubt. If those three will get called up for Denmark. Blackburn versus Coventry, I believe is
do all three
also
have to get called up by the same nation, Panda, or is it just 3 across the 4 teams involved or 6 teams involved?
3 across the 6 teams involved. So Blackburn have got Berg, Ostenstad, Ludvigsson, and Tugay, all involved in the playoffs. So Blackburn versus Coventry, I think, is pretty much a definite game, and it's off because they only need 3 of the 4 to be out. But the thing is, if any of these players then, say for Bolton, if like Snorrison goes and gets injured and doesn't get called up, but the other 2 do, then that Bolton game will still be on because they'd only have 2 players called up because one of them got injured.
I'm sure Headman owners will get lucky again that week. Somehow that Blackburn game will go on.
And then I think it's Liverpool also have a few involved. They've got Hegem, Risa,
And Dudek.
and Dudek for Poland. So yeah, Liverpool, and that I think is quite likely as well because Hegem and Risa, I think both in this. Yeah, Hegem's there. Well, Risa didn't make the squad, so it depends on whether Risa gets himself back in the squad. But yeah, I think Dudek's he's Poland's number one. So yeah, Liverpool versus Ipswich, I believe, is under
And you
threat
think we
as well.
find this out the game week before? We
Yeah,
don't get confirmation
I think.
until
I think game week after game week 12, we'll find out about it. Because we don't get in our news feed, we don't get international call ups unless we put. I might say to captain if he shortlists. If I give him a list of players like Hegem, Risa, Dudek, shortlist all of them, shortlist the 3 Bolton players, and shortlist
Don't forget Eggy Ostenstad from Blackburn. Don't forget to shortlist him.
and then shortlist Berg, Ostenstad, Ludvigsson, and Tugai, and then it might pop up in the news feed if they get called up. Like, I'm
I
not
couldn't tell
sure.
you that. I don't know either. I couldn't tell you that.
I'll get Chris to do that in the sim, and then I can keep an eye on it because I went to go and do it, and I was like, oh no, because Chris will just send me another save file, and then they won't be shortlisted anymore. So yeah, I was like, I'm not wasting my time doing that. So yeah, the potential game week 13 postponements there, where the games would probably move to game week 17, although Liverpool have already got a double, I think, in 17, 14, 15, 16, 17. Oh no, Leeds, Chelsea. Yeah,
I'm
join
assuming
this
an
double.
impact that if you people wanted, if you make someone wanted by putting them on the Brighton shortlist, it shouldn't impact their
No, it
appearance in
doesn't.
the game.
No, it doesn't
No.
impact them at all. Yeah, because Mark Kerr's been wanted for since season 1. Yeah, I think Simple Goal shortlisted him to keep an eye out.
That's what Andy's just said. Don't manipulate the players. They might get unhappy if they know they're wanted by Brighton.
So we could potentially, though, see a reasonably sized double game week in game week 17, which currently just has Chelsea, Leeds, Everton, and Middlesbrough doubling. But you could also add Bolton, Man United, Blackburn, Coventry, Ipswich, and Liverpool all to that, which might mean we might have a double game week with 2 streams. We shall wait and see. I think that's about everything now. We covered everything. I think we've covered everything.
This is more your domain than mine, Rob. So if you covered off everything, then I can't think of anything you missed.
Yeah, I don't think so. Don't think so. Goodman, this double isn't confirmed yet. Yeah, that double could move because of League Cup. Yeah, it's a fucking mess. The whole thing is a mess. The scheduling. So yeah, we shall see. Yeah, game week 13. We'll keep an eye on it. And
Andy's asking
see
about
what happens.
as well. Andy wants a load of player updates. You can decide if you want to do them, Rob. Michael Dunwell, John Fashanu.
John Fashanu isn't there. Michael Dunwell. There we go. He's at Bristol Rovers. He hasn't played this season. Oh, he's just moved from Bishop Auckland. That's why. Oh, he's not had a bad start to seasons. Played 7 leagues, 7 goals, 4 assists. Wow.
Yeah, he's good on this game.
Let's do our weekly look at Barry. Barry Sparrow. Has he played yet? No. One week we're going to come in and he's like 1 appearance, 3 goals, 2 assists, with the man of the match. Anurag.
Yeah.
Is RDB back? Yes, he is back. Blackburn. Yeah, so potentially for Blackburn, they've got an extra player there that can play AMC. Could that push Janssen into a starting spot up top if De Boer goes AMC? But I think De Boer would start right mid. If we go,
yeah, I would imagine he'll.
And Solano move into the middle, or De Boer could start in the centre. Yeah, it's probably O'Brien. Like if he took the Chelsea lineup that they had against Chelsea, then it's probably O'Brien out, De Boer in, and either him or Solano plays centre and the other one plays on the right. And then in that other lineup that they do, that is actually worth having assets in, because that the third lineup where they play 7 at the back isn't worth any assets.
I'm not sure what they'll do. Ronald De Boer might actually play up front in this formation. I don't know why. I think De Boer is more likely to play up front rather than Janssen.
Over Bent or over Crouch? Probably over Bent.
Yeah, I'd imagine Bent goes for De Boer, and then there's obviously the few players that can play in various different positions now. But my gut feeling is they'll. I don't remember really seeing De Boer playing AMC, so I've got a feeling they might play him up front.
Be interesting.
Be interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. So but if you had Burton O'Brien, it's probably time to sell now, because.
Well, I would do, Pan, if he didn't injure like 6 of my other players. I might have to sell Burton. What's another -4? Eh? What's another -4? Get him out as well.
So yeah, that's everything. There are European games again after the Gameweek 9 games. So yeah, you'll get a European update on Friday again. Chelsea play Lazio, Leeds play Olympiacos, Middlesbrough have got that crunch game against Bayern. They have to win against Bayern. Man United against Sporting Lisbon. And all the UEFA Cup teams play as well. So Blackburn have got Prague. Liverpool have got Gençlerbirliği. We'll say that's how you pronounce that name. Who else is still in? Is there? It's not just them two. There is another one. Arsenal went out. Villa. Yeah, Villa. They're playing Stuttgart. So there we go. Oh, Andy Martin, please click on the FC Hacker playing staff. The fuck is this? FC Hacker non-playing staff.
There's John Fashanu, the physio. There he is.
Oh, there he is. Oh yeah, I was searching for him under like the player search, not non-player search. Yeah, Fash. His level of discipline 20. Cool. All right, that's it then. This week, the leak will be. It's quite late in the evening now, so the leak will probably be tomorrow. Because by the time me and Chris have decided on it, it'll probably be too late to put it out tonight. So we'll say the leak will be tomorrow morning.
You give Andy as little time as possible to make his transfer. So don't tell him till tell him on Tuesday.
And yeah, that's about it. Anything else from you, Craig?
No, mate. I'm gonna try and cry looking at my team in a minute and work out that even my team already has got 2 red flags in it. There's like 3 more that need to be added. So I'm just gonna sit here and look at my team on my phone and.
Well, give it 15 minutes and then refresh it, and then
you look at all the red flags.
Yeah, you can see all the flags. Cool. Right. Cheers everyone for joining us this evening, and those watching and those listening on our podcast places. Please give the video a like, and subscribe to get notifications for any future preview streams, etc., etc., etc. Have a good one and good luck for Game Week 9. Cheers.